if you're looking to win immediately, I would say philosophy comes in at a distant second to winning, to results.
Yeah, but you as a serial winner, you just show me 15,000 rings or whatever that was. So, are you a philosophy man, or you kind of?
Well,
it depends on the opponent and something. Like, how does that work?
Well, we talking here Trinis as boys and all that, but the reality is, brother, you know, I just always see the levels to this. You know, either humble fella at the core of the matter, it has levels to this. This is where I coach at is at the high school level, and the reality is, I get to see these kids on a day-to-day basis. So, apart from the soccer field, they know my personality. I rub it off on them in the classroom, outside of the classroom, in the park, outside the park, with the parents, backyard party. So, my philosophy and my life, my players have a naturally built-in. It's naturally built-in philosophy of who I am, what I stand for, and how I go about doing certain things. So it has to be philosophy at the high school level is important because soccer is just a microcosm of life. It's a microcosm. Are certain things you could pass on to a youth through the game of soccer that could be very indicative of the type of character they are, or they will develop into being 15, 20 years down the road. Like I just tell you something, I just do before every tryout, people that get sent home in the first 5 minutes. And people that the coach are so cutthroat or so brutal. I will put 4 cones down, Duane. I put 4 cones down around the edge of the field, the circumference of the field. And they have 50, 60 people out there. And I go place my assistants. And I'll say anybody, I'll make sure and tell these kids and them, I want you guys to run around the circumference, the outside of these cones for the next 8 minutes, on the outside. And anybody who infringes, they're going home. And everybody gonna start off good, 2, 3 laps, and then people gonna start to get short breath. Right. And then the cone right here, brother, the cone right here. All you have to do is go around the edge. Right? Some people go run on the inside.
All right, take a little step,
And that is indicative of people
character
who taking shortcuts. When things get a little difficult and you have to huff and puff a little bit, you gotta take shortcuts. And these are little philosophies I try to implant from jump. And kids will come back the next year and they understand that lesson is learned.
Learning takes place.
That's something they carry with them for a whole year. And that might be a stud player. That might be a stud player. I lose out on.
So let me ask this question, right?
Oh boy.
How much would you agree with the statement that the team that a person supports is a kind of indication of the personality traits?
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, at the end of the day, brother, you like what you like. It's no big formula towards that. You like what you like. People like things, and they navigate the things what they like. You know, and whether people want to admit it or not, if they're truthful to themselves, you know, the things that you look at and you follow and you put a certain amount of time and energy into, whether it's your online following this for 2 hours, or you're waking up 4 o'clock in the morning to see a specific team play, you know, that's what you like. I will not get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to watch nobody play if I don't like them. Because that take it out.
But how you explain Arsenal fans every weekend?
Boy,
I have to do it.
Look, let me tell you something. I've had the privilege over the years to play with a ton of Africans. My people from the motherland. And actually, one of my best friends, he's from Nigeria. He's from Lagos. Nigeria. We just call him Jiggaman JD. Yeah, from one smart man. But he's a good smart man. You didn't recognize him. He's a good smart man.
He's using power for evil. He's using it for evil. He's using it for good.
Yeah, he's a good smart man.
Yeah.
That dude right there, that is Arsenal. Look, I don't know. I just always ask him, what has Arsenal ever done for Africa that Africans die on Arsenal? I don't know. And he does always come back and say, hey, bruh, if you look at Arsene Wenger, even before Arsenal, Arsene Wenger is a man, I don't know if you know a guy named George Weah.
Yeah.
George Weah, who he was the only African and the only African to win World Player of the Year back in 95. George Arsene Wenger was his coach, you know. So what you were trying to tell me is that Arsene Wenger has always took a certain interest in African players way before the EPL days, and that's why black people, Africans have an affinity for Arsenal because of the love Wenger, Arsene Wenger showed towards African players. But boy, brethren, I don't know about them got a different. Them different.
I mean, listen, the man say
like your Arsenal man or something.
No, you're trying to insult me.
Don't say.
Don't say he's the Arsenal man.
I am Arsenal man.
You the Arsenal man?
Yeah.
Don't say he's the Arsenal man.
Don't say he's the Arsenal man. But you see what is going on? What is going on?
For life, dog.
Yeah, I was to tell him, I tend to be a little more sensitive towards what say because I mean, I name an Arsenal fan, right?
What?
And I just get vexed. So imagine somebody with emotional investment to this, right?
Yeah.
I just always comment or say, right?
Cut this part.
Yeah, I cut that part.
Cut this part out. But Marcus, I give us on some fantastic.
He's a drama king.
Want to know.
So I am just keeping the play flowing, right?
Something I'm interested in. Yeah, Marcus. So, all right, let's say you get right. So, high school is your age range. That age range like what? From 11 till 18?
18, 19.
Right. So, you get a young player, right? What's the first thing you're gonna? What the first thing you teach them? Is it fitness? Is it basics? How do you start?
Well, the first thing, obviously, the first thing you look to teach a player is support Arsenal.
Don't.
To compete. Before you could do anything, you have to train the mind to compete. You know, and once I get to a place where I think a kid is at a place where he knows how to compete, he knows how to navigate himself through certain difficulties. You know, everything else will come along because you're willing to put yourself through fire. It's easy for yourself to put yourself through a practice to learn how to collect and connect, to collect and connect a pass. It's easy for you to shoot 200 extra shots. It's easy for you to run 3 extra miles because the mentality already there. You know, because I would rather have a player I think you guys can agree with this, that plenty Trinidad players with incredible technical ability, but Mickey Mouse up here, Mickey Mouse mentality. You understand?
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse mentality.
That is
So
hard thing.
yeah, so that the first thing I just look for, and look, I'm not saying my way is the right way. I'm a small time coach. I'm a small time coach, but at the end of the day, I think anybody who has any sense or sensibility will understand that 90% of the game is mental. 90% of the game is mental, because the game is already, it's only a certain group that could play at a certain level. So only a certain group, a small group could play at a certain level. So everybody in that small group already physically fit, already physically fast, already have technical ability, because somebody paying you to play, so you can already play.
Yeah.
You understand? Somebody paying you to play.
Yeah, you're naturally like that. Yeah.
Yeah. The difference between the guy who plays in the MLS and the guys who plays in the EPL is obviously technical ability. Obviously, the technical ability will be superior. Understanding of the game will be superior, but also in those countries, the game is like a lifestyle. The game is a lifestyle. You know, I know dudes in the MLS and thing, but brother, them fellas and them, please. Please. I didn't want to go there, nah. I wish I could. I wish I could go in that time machine. Pick up myself, and drop myself in 2017, 2018. Telling you,
because that's something.
Live TV. I go pay for all your podcasts. I'm gonna be on TV on TV6.
I'm asking this question here. So something we talk about one time. So how much is it coaching now? You say?
I've been coaching since 2006.
All right, that's good. That's and you was coaching. You was coaching. Were you coaching 18-year-olds and thing like that in 2006?
Yeah. Well, I coach semi-professional. I coach semi-professional clubs. You know, Arizona Suarez. They a semi-professional club. I coach at the university, which is grown men, 22, 24-year-old men. And once I got my degree, and I left the university, and I was no longer assistant coach. And I didn't want to stay on campus no more, just to coach. I started coaching youth soccer. And once I started coaching youth soccer, competitive youth soccer, that is, these are for guys who look to attain college scholarships and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, not no rec league, everybody get a trophy nonsense. You know?
So have you noticed? So you talk about with Jose Mourinho, and a coach, men having to be willing to follow you and things like that. Have you noticed any generational change in the mentality of players coming in? So as you coaching players and things in the last 10 years, you've seen anything different? 15 years.
Yeah, bro. Well, you know, when I started coaching, it wasn't. Then I know Twitter fingers and Instagram and all them things, you know. None of that. Nobody had no Twitter fingers. I mean, we had Facebook and was the next one in MySpace back in the day.
MySpace and high five.
That's right. You know, but yeah. Well, I would say this, you could maintain your philosophy, but slightly adapt to your territory. That's what I believe. You know, good coaches, good managers, good man managers. You have to be able to slightly adopt to your territory without giving up certain ethics and certain morals and certain beliefs. You could still send messages. The messages that my coaches sent to me when I was a young player, and how they went about sending those messages 75% of that those guys wouldn't make it today just because of the sensitivity and how people perceive messages now. You know, so you have to be able to channel. You have to be able to channel your messages in such a way that it's believable, in such a way that it's firm, that it's fair, but it doesn't come across as disrespectful.
Right. Because ultimately, like you say, you need these men to follow you.
Yeah.
You need these men to follow you all the way through, right? So they still have to buy into you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
my follow-up question to that is, so you talk about football being cycles and things like that, right? So how much do you think? So like I disagree with it, but I want to see what you think. So I've seen a lot of Twitter fingers, a lot of opinions talking about how the game has advanced so fast in the last 5 years, and the game has advanced so much that some of these coaches are now dinosaurs. They don't know the game no more. The game has passed them by and all this thing. So how do you view that?
The game has advanced. What I would say, Andre, from my little Mickey Mouse humble perspective is
Mickey Mouse didn't have all them rings. Let me just put out there. Mickey Mouse, I didn't see Mickey Mouse with no ring and thing. I didn't see that.
You know, I would say that the game has evolved in terms of conditions that players are exposed to. The game has evolved in terms of medicine, sports medicine. The game has evolved in terms of the carpet that players are put on to perform now too. You know, you will not see a awful ground. No, a bad ground now is a big time ground in 1998.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
The artists are put on a platform now where they could perform at a higher speed because of the conditions. The ball rolling and bouncing up and you're taking 2-3 touches to settle it. You don't see that.
It's long time I didn't see a man, you know, something does register. You know, you used to always see a man sky a shot or something and he watched the ground and he matched the ground and thing. You didn't see that in years. Yeah.
Yeah, Mason Monk did that weekend though, so all right.
He watched the ground?
Yeah, he watched the
ground. So basically all I'm saying, brothers, is from my perspective, the game haven't changed. The players have changed. And the people in charge of the players have evolved. The game will never change. It's 11v11. Tactics, believe it or not, whatever we think is new today, guys did it back in the day. We just didn't have the technology to bring it to us immediately. Guys was playing, guys were pressing the balls at specific times back in the day. They wasn't pressing it with the speed of guys pressing the ball today.
Yeah.
Guys were playing counter-attacking football in Europe, in Italy. From 1900 long, guys in Brazil was playing at half speed from the 18-yard box to the center line, lolly to sleep, going side to side, playing horizontal football, and then by the time the lolly to sleep, they go vertical through the lines. So these are not new philosophies. You know, all I would say is the conditions of players now is a lot better. I would have loved to see. I would have liked to pick up Diego Maradona and drop him in the same era with Ronaldinho, and give Maradona the same treatment, the same training facilities, the same recovery facilities, the same grounds, not them muddy garbage ground in Italy. You know, go back and look at them grounds in Italy.
Those terrible.
Yeah. I would love to see that. I would love to see somebody drop Maradona in that time frame. So, you know, the game has evolved at some level, but the game hasn't really changed, you know. game hasn't really changed.
All right. So, Marcus, you watched the game yesterday? Did you take in Trinidad football?
You take my question out here because I want to know how them holding up.
So quickly, what did you think of the game yesterday? If you watched it, Trinidad versus
Which one?
USA. Trinidad, USA.
Well, the fellas hurting my feelings, but kind of question is that, but
I just want to know. We had to ask about it.
Now we had to ask. What are we grieving? Eh? Here the part that hurt me the most. You see that penalty? I mean, no go up. That's what I say. Well, now.
Yeah.
That's when I went and bid. I say now, boy.
Yeah. Well, fellas, let me ask you something. And there's real talk. All right. If you coming into international game and you approaching the international game like a glorified fet match, I will frame this all, yeah. If you're approaching this game against the USA as a glorified fet match where you picking up players who you never see. A man show up outside Skinner Park and they say, yeah man, come on man, we only have 8. How it is you expect to get results when look, man, I will get angry us. For real. Definitely the game approach was approached like a glorified fet match. That's number one. Secondly, we didn't have a game plan. We don't know if we pressing the ball up the field to make them bypass the midfielder so we could cover the ball again and try to play if we realize we can't play. We don't know if we want to play lateral or vertical soccer. We don't know what we want to do. We just had 11 guys out there on a tour of Orlando. That's what it looked like to me.
A little holiday?
Nah, that was going to try haunted house. That's the only thing I could see because them men was frightened.
Thank you. And it's a shame because I must say this, man. There was a point in time, let me tell you something, when I was in college, playing college ball, people from around, college players who were from outside of the US, when you come up and you playing with Italian dudes and guys from Spain and guys from Africa and guys from other parts of the world, they used to be like, you from Trinidad? Dwight, your country? Oh, good player. You guys are fast and stuff like that. You guys are fast. You guys are skillful.
I imagine them in thoroughbred and them telling me that.
Yeah. And now when you think about what is devolved, devolved. What is devolved? Yeah. Devolved, dissolved. I don't know what it is. Devalued.
Both of them right.
Look, yeah, both of them okay.
It's just D. You know? It's sad, brother. It's sad.
Yep.
Yeah, the football in Trinidad is in a bad place, and it starts at the bottom, it starts at the top, and it had to trickle down. And
okay. So like in a minute, right? If you had
1 minute.
If you had limited funds, where would you start to develop Trinidad football?
At the grassroots, at the youth level.
Right.
At the grassroots, at the youth level.
How so?
In what way?
How? In what way?
Give us one specific thing that you want to achieve.
I would immediately, if I had money, brother, I would immediately sponsor and create competitive soccer leagues for anybody U14 and under, and start building from there. Building from there. Yeah, we will have a 10 team from the east, 10 teams from the south, 10 teams from the north, from the 4 corners of Trinidad, U14. Pick specific coaches who I know who just in it for the dollar, and we starting right there.
I have a question I want to talk about.
Recreational soccer.
Here's the question I ask, right? How compatible is that plan with the existing intercol secondary school system?
Well, you see, the intercol secondary school system is not a year-round soccer. It's not year-round soccer. You understand? So I don't care about how compatible it is. We need players who play in football. If we want to be competitive at the next level, you have to play football year-round.
Well, right now, this is why I'm asking, because the argument usually put forward that, they compete. So, I've heard the sentiment put forward that that despite the fact that it's probably the best and the most followed league in the country, in Trinidad and Tobago, the secondary schools football league, it is probably one of the biggest hamper, bugbearers, humbugs, whatever you want to put it, to our national development in terms of producing what we should do, right?
Right.
And I'm marrying it in the context of your plan that you put forward, because I thought like that a few years ago, and I was thinking, but the problem would end up being that these fellas had to go to school, so you'll end up with one or two problems. One, the distribution of talent risks being concentrated in one. If you have like an academy or something, like you say, like how John Deere and Sandotech was back in the days, right? Where you basically had a shadow national team and they were just dominating to everybody else, and everybody else was acres behind. As compared to you saying, all right, here what? We want to have everybody develop. And I was wondering if it might make sense that you have a all year round league, yes, but you have set standards to coaches and you had them developing within the zones, and then you come back out to the Big Five, and then you do that. If you might be able to get more development in town, because if you look in youth academies in Holland and Ajax and all that, them men spend 8 hours on ball work. 8 hours. They do the academics in between, you know. They get up at 4, they do some work and all that. So our system obviously is not going to be able to cut it. It's not cutting it now. It's not going to change in the future if things continue. So how your plan could conflict with the system as is, especially in terms of the secondary school football league?
All right. Well, I love where your mind going, brother. Straight up, I love where your mind going. The reality is we will never be Holland. We don't have the resources to have academies for kids at our age, all the way up. Okay? We don't have the funding for a professional league, a proper professional league in any case. So, by what I am saying, brothers, is if you I specifically said competitive youth soccer for 14 and up. 14 and under, that is developmental, recreational. Get a love for the game. Play the game, love it, decide if this is where you need to, if this is where you want to channel your energies at. What I am saying is...
too late?
Huh?
Is 14 too late? Because like I remember Arsene Wenger saying he could tell by 14 if a player could make it as a professional.
Yeah, well, 14 is not too late to play competitive football. It's a difference between competitive football and professional football. You know? You know, he's looking at guys who he thinks can go pro. You know? Just like that guy went to Tobago and he saw Dwight York running around and he's like, hey, that's a professional player right there at 16, 17. Okay? What I'm saying is kids go to school, they go to the regular schools, whether it's in Pleasantville, El Dorado, Malik, St. Augustine, and at the end of the school day, you put a curriculum together. Where somebody like Andy Salandi, like your uncle, he could be the overseer of all the club teams, registration, coaching, people who are going to coach, trainers, grounds for teams to train, all that good stuff, traveling, how teams can travel from east to west, north to south. He could be an overseer for the north, northeast. Somebody could be the overseer for south central or southwest. Kids go to their regular school. At the end of the school day, instead of going to the mall or instead of going to High Street or Mukarapo or wherever, Mukarapo Street and posting, get home, do your homework. You have training every day from 5 to 7 o'clock. 5 to 7. Go to school, get your education, come home, get your homework done, run off to training. 5 to 7. If it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, games on Saturday, good to go. Good to go. You space it out to get them balanced. Because remember, they're still 14-year-old. They're developing. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, game Saturday. Okay? You set it up where for 2 to 3 months, you're running a league in the East, you're running a league in the West, you're running a league in, and at the end of those 3 months, the 8 best teams, 2 from each zone, the 8 best teams that have a champion league or something like that. However you want to frame it. However you want to frame it. You can have the regular league run before intercall. Intercall come around, guys go play for the school. Intercall done. After the intercall done, you are the champion of champions. You are keeping kids framed and playing football a whole
competitively.
year. Competitively a whole year, brother. And from there, what it also does too is it takes away this notion that, you know what, this sort man gets seen by this coach and this coach and this coach really like players here because you're traveling back and forth. East teams are going to eventually go south. South teams will have to go east. East teams will have to go north. North teams will have to go. You understand what I'm saying? It's a year-round thing. And if you do that for the youth, you create that ecosystem. For youth between the ages of 14 to 18, you will quickly see, brother. You will very quickly see how kids, they're going to develop a competitive spirit. Let me tell you something. You do that, cricket and all that go be hurting, you know, volleyball. That cricket going to be hurting. Because at the end of the day, football is number 1 in Trinidad, but we lost our way. We get distracted, and the people at the top have not created an ecosystem to create interest, to take these kids off of the street, to give them an opportunity to feel some type of accomplishment, to feel some type of importance. When a kid is wearing a green shirt representing a club team, and they have the right people in charge, teaching them what it means to respect a badge, to respect whoever you're playing for. What it means to represent your community in the right way. Go compete, go win, go hard, represent your community. What is going to create is respectful competitiveness. And what it also creates, believe it or not, it creates a synergy for players by the time they reach a national level. By the time because these guys will be playing against each other year after year, 14, 15, 16, and it's not just for 3 months. It's year-round.
Right?
It's year-round.
At the start of you laying that idea out, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned that it will be cost and expense and all that. And I had to really find the article, but I remember a few years ago, I was reading an article on the operation of Barcelona Youth Academy, La Maisa, right? And they mentioned that the annual budget for it was something in the vicinity of $300,000 per year, right?
Right.
And in my head, I was like, wait now, multiply that by 7.
Yeah, that's 2.1 million. That's 2 million TT.
Like 2 million TT.
That's all?
Yeah, and this is what I was saying, right? Because it also mentioned 2 articles I remember specifically, that one, and then the other one tied into the greater first year, the Spanish FA, where they decided they had like about an 8-year plan. And they had players from a certain age group coming in every weekend. It started off with 100, and they had them drilled into a system, and they kept on calling the group as they advanced. So by the time they reached under 17, under 18, they had 24 players that they said, well,
Right.
we working with them.
Right.
And they were coming in every other weekend, I believe, or something like that. And I was like, right, a plan. At least a plan. I cannot, in my mind, recall any time that I have heard articulated or executed, for that matter, a comprehensive, coherent plan. And I'm talking about like a plan that spans 3 to 5 years or 8 years or any
Right.
long-term thing. So, I mean, if there's no plan, we're doing this by VAPs.
You know,
Right.
you know, it's one,
Right.
of the, you know, it's one of the interesting things you could see. If you go and search USA's last 5-year plan, where they have real internationals coming out now, like McKinney and the man went Barca. For them, it's real pretty to see come together because the men are coming out going to UV and Barca and things.
And that's what I'm saying. You can't expect the men to be able to reach outside there when
Right.
every other country in the world, in Europe, far less the world, them battling to get there, right? The men might not be more talented, but they're more disciplined, they're more structured,
Exactly.
and
more
then
resources.
they get more resources. And then even if you want to argue about resources, is the application of resources, because
They're quite simply more professional.
you're right, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I don't
It's a
understand the
business.
life of me why. I mean, it does bother me.
I could tell.
Politics, the all kind of the foolishness. At the end of the day, the dotishness up here affecting what playing on the field here. And last night was a kind of example of that.
Exactly. Last night was a prime example of where the state of Trinidad and Tobago football is.
Right, and I mean,
this guy was playing guys who we only saw play
on YouTube
on a video.
No, what I find funny is the man didn't even say you want footage.
Terry Frederick do not care about Trinidad and Tobago football. He's collecting a check. He's not a Trinidadian.
Yeah,
he don't care. And let me tell you something. He don't have a resume outside of Trinidad. Let me tell you something. People can say, well, somebody like Leo Ben Hacker came to Trinidad. He had a reputation to maintain.
Yeah.
He had a reputation to maintain. What Terry Frederick have to maintain except the 25,000 US a month?
I mean, I don't know.
I think, but seriously, watching his. I mean, this is the first time I've seen the interview post the result, right?
His first game.
Just watching his interview.
Zwade, we just talk about coaching philosophies and all of that good stuff. If you are telling me you are willing to play a guy in an international game against the USA, who you only saw play on a video, not in a training session, where you could pass information on to him over 2, 3, 4, 5 days, talk tactics properly.
Yep.
What does that say about your philosophy? This philosophy is, look, I don't know if he come Trinidad, eat too much curry, eat too much pela when he turn eat true Trini, wherever. But that approach, you guys' approach is more professional than his approach to that national team last night. Look, no top coach is doing what he did last night. None. I'm not a top coach, brother. And I would not do that at the international level.
Or Marcus, you would not admit it.
Exactly. Much less say it on a video. Much less go on TV and say, yeah, I only see him on YouTube once.
I give him credit. For admitting it.
No, that's madness.
The man admitted. The man. He could have come and mama guy me and say, boy.
Well. If he didn't admit it, somebody would have find it.
Right. The man pop your hands and say, right, this is my fault.
But you know what that come like? That's like, all right. When Kyrie was missing for a while, I'd be like, even had the respect to lie now, boy. Say it's sick or something.
Yeah.
Don't come and say you never see the man play, dog. Lies. You expect us enough to lie now, boy. Come on, man.
Right.
Yeah, but that's happening all the time.
How a man go say, and yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you, I watched that video and his face palm, I don't even know what to say. So how a coach will come on TV and say, you're blaming the players, right? You say, oh, we had a game plan and it went out the window.
Oh, wait.
But then the next sentence.
Andre, hold on. I don't want to stop you. Wait. I don't want to stop all you. Andre,
Yeah.
OC, Andre, Zwade. Tell me what game plan or let's see Trinidad come out with.
Right.
Get 11 men on the field. I see that plan. That plan work. That plan work.
The men reach.
11 men get on the field. Right? That plan work. That
We
plan
had
was
a game
working.
plan.
That was the
We
game
had
plan.
a game plan.
Get
23 men reach Orlando. That's the game plan.
Get them to
and then the next sentence is, yeah, we had a game plan, but these men that are thrown though, they wasn't really wrong for the plan though. But
Yeah.
I throw them on anyway because I see them on YouTube. They look real good. So I put them on, and you know, they wasn't at the level I expected from the YouTube. That's what man say.
Out of all of that,
earlier.
out of all of that, the worst part is the men was wearing the Fet Mat kit that we have. It's not even our really and a Trinidad kit.
That is the kit.
Look, that
Is
look
that
like a
Juma
Juma
kit?
kit, boss.
That is the
What is
Juma
that?
kit now.
Kit. Them fellas
Is
look
that-
like they come out from Rikers Island. Them fellas look like they just come out from
No, it's about
Rikers.
Juma kit. It's a Juma kit.
Boss,
It's our
it
official
have
kit.
a,
That is
it
the
have
official
a
kit.
kit. It have a kit that we bought for our Fetch Match team. It's that exact kit. You could buy
Right.
that in any store. That's terrible.
Hey, let me tell you something, That's not the first time something like that happened, It had a time that they'll get sponsored by some team, some manufacturer. I think they're based in New York or Seattle or something so. Right?
Is it Jack Warner story? Or?
Nah, no Jack Warner,
Okay.
sorry. That was just like about 5 years ago. Right? And boy, I was like, wait now, you're going on the website and it's like, oh wait. This is one of the default kits. It's they just take the one with the most red and say, hey, that is the national kit. I swear. Right?
That's
No.
it. It's embarrassing, bro. It's
Yeah,
embarrassing.
It is.
It's
No,
embarrassing.
I
It gets me angry. I ain't even go to front, bro. It gets me angry.
reached the stage in life where
But hold on,
I'll be
Ezra.
without that decision.
But hold on, Ezra. So seriously, what are there? So what do you see happening for Trinidad in the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years? Nothing. No progress. I don't know the local scene and things. So I don't know who's the decision makers that could make things change and things like that. So what are they see?
Look,
I'm
I'm gonna say something real quick. I
Yeah,
won't take
go
too
to
much more of the time. And I ain't trying to Trinidad have nobody at the top with a vision for the football. We have people up here who are affiliated, who's family members with certain people on this panel, you know, who have accomplished a lot in that role.
Mm-hmm.
In that role. Now, I think over the next couple of years, the government have to get involved. They have to set aside some type of budget.
No selfie dead.
They have to
And
set
therefore,
aside some type of budget. And you're right, no selfie dead. You know?
see this?
Yeah,
Wow,
you
what
can
is
see it.
that?
That's the
That is
Trinidad
what-
team. That's the kit.
Wow.
And they play like that too.
Wow.
Oh,
right,
no,
that's
we just play good though. Alright?
You play good for Fet Match. Anytime you could
Right,
start on our
guys.
side, it have questions answer, right? Anytime.
Oh god.
I know for see usually after matches, men does exchange shirts. Them US players didn't want no part of
Nah,
it.
they want it.
They could get them shit
They
in
want it.
any club store.
Yeah,
Terrible.
yeah.
Yeah, I see it advertised about 200 in truth. But anyhow,
Man just dive out one time. I actually
No, I being real with you, I wasn't given my shirt neither, but I have some shame.
So
alright.
unless they make some different appointments at the top, you can't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Fadi.
My thing is this, right? And as I was telling you this morning, I moved past the I try to understand why a man make a decision. I understand with COVID, the opportunity to screen players, it was years, months since we had our last competitive game. This might be the only game that we get before Guyana. The man needed a chance to see the players. And I think I could understand that. I could understand that. I might not agree with it, but I could understand it. Right? But that being said, that is just simply a symptom of the wider problem. Right? The whole politics, the shippiness, David John Williams, William Wallace, this normalization committee, all that foolishness.
Yeah, that was plenty back on now.
Right? I telling you, I used to be on the Soca Warriors forum daily, religiously. Right? I reached the stage, I just like, dog, I have enough stress in my life. Right?
Yeah.
To be going and seeing this kind of foolishness. I for my own mental health,
Yeah.
I ease off, right? I still care, but it was more like a philosophy of what I do no care give me vex.
Right.
Because it was like that. No, I cannot fathom why it seems so hard for an administration to be in place and say, here what's going on. We're going to have this 10-year plan. Drunk or sober, we carrying out this plan. You get all the stakeholders in place. Because it's the ego. It's something called S. Yes, right? It's small is the first S and syndrome is the last S. I say nothing else. I didn't say nothing else. It's a syndrome.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a syndrome. Right? And just because the wrong person say the right thing, it must be seen as wrong.
Right.
That's
and
true.
I cannot for the life of me understand why it's so hard for all the stakeholders say, alright, here what's going on. Right? You might be from South and you have your chip against Northmen and you find more Southmen should make national team and them kind of thing. Because we just hear that, right? At the end of the day, the man from Trinidad and Tobago, we backing him. We had to give these fellas the best chance possible. What we had to do to get that happen. And everybody pulled together. I cannot understand for the life of me. It's like, yeah, wait was boy. I think Jablote went out. Jablote went out a lot of the youth tournaments and things nationally.
Yeah, Jablote.
And no Jablote man make any of the national youth teams. It was all W connection, man.
Well,
yes,
of course. Of course.
Right?
Yeah, politics, awful.
This is what I'm saying. I personally, I'm not on that.
Brother, that's why you have to bring somebody from outside of Trinidad with a neutral mentality, no familiarity.
Yeah.
Bruh, that familiarity is a problem, bruh. That familiarity is when we had our most success.
Things happen in African teams, you know.
Huh?
African teams will say that same problem, you know.
No, but let me give you an example. Russell Latapi is considered the little magician, legendary Trinidad and Tobago player. Was he a national coach? What happened to the national team?
He was a player, coach, /
No, I thought,
player,
what happened to the national team? What was the results?
Most likely I blackout out of memory because it was traumatic. Yeah, it wasn't good.
You a smart fella.
I do remember that. It wasn't good. I remember that. It wasn't good. I can't pinpoint that terrible, you know what?
That is a person who's supposed to command respect based on what he has done. Him and Dwight York supposed to command respect from an average Trinidad player based on
their
resume.
Tobago that wrong. Yeah.
Okay. That familiarity, the culture, the mindset. You have to bring someone from outside. Frederick living in Trinidad too long, brother. Frederick is not Trini. Frederick is not Trini. Let me tell you something. When you could bring somebody like someone like Leo Ben Hacker, you hire him for 2 years. Let me tell you something. And it might be a stopgap. It might just be a stopgap. It might be a long
It
term.
is a stopgap
It might
because
be
it's not
a long
sustainable. It's
term.
not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
on.
But if you bring someone, a big time coach like Leo Ben Hacker, a big time coach, say like, let me just shout a name, like, let me say Pep Guardiola, which is impossible. Trinidad will make the World Cup.
People go mad.
Because he will spot a pool of 30 players, and them 30 players can't go nowhere. They're going to live together for 2 years. They're going to train, eat, sleep, and he's going to bring a culture. And you know what? They're going to respect him because that's Guardiola.
Yeah.
That's Guardiola. They're going to respect him. And Dwight York do more as a player than Pep Guardiola ever do.
You must frighten there a little bit.
Yeah, he have a CV from Manchester United under Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
But it cannot be transitionally in Trinidad because of who he is. Trinidad players don't respect Trinidad authority.
Yeah.
And it's sad. Think about it, bro. Let me be honest. Ben Hacker come, World Cup. Ben Hacker gone, everything fall off.
And the thing is, after Ben Hacker, they had something resembling a plan with Wim, right?
Right.
And he followed to the real men. It's at that point he made a statement that real people didn't like how men was lying on the coconut tree and them kind of thing, right? And he wasn't for that at all. He wasn't having that, right?
Right.
Yeah. But so are they? The amount of all right. And it had that issue, right? When went a boat right before a game, remember that?
Yeah, and
With Stephen Hart, I think. It was Stephen Hart, his name.
I was them carnatulars.
Yeah,
I think so.
I mean, is the indiscipline or is it just a
but what I'm saying,
lifestyle of indiscipline?
The discipline is something intrinsically motivated, right?
Yeah.
Somebody could be over here with a big stick, yes, right? As soon as you take down that big stick, you'll just do what you want. We could agree on that, right?
Return to normal.
These fellas, you have to realize, hey, I want this, right? People could say what? You see CR7? He is a work zombie, right?
No, but I think so. I actually think so. What Marcus was talking about.
Conditions, though. You have to create certain conditions, though.
Yeah, but intrinsic motivation, though.
No, but what Marcus was talking about earlier, where you have the grassroots way. No, there is something to when you make something a profession. Is about it's the repetition and frequency of doing it. So
Yeah.
you have to turn it on. So it's almost muscle memory, but it's your brain. It's brain. You know what it is to be a professional.
You're accustomed to that, right? And
that is why I think
how much men doing that for their own self, for themselves. They care about themselves. They want that for themselves.
They can't do it for themselves, first. They cannot do it for themselves.
So let's say you looking at a man work ethic. You looking at a man work ethic. You looking at CR7. You're probably looking at a documentary. You see now man after training. Train out
it started when he was a little boy.
Pattern? Right, but what I'm saying, a little boy seeing that.
No, but there's levels. So again, Marcus say too, but there's levels. So Cristiano is exceptional as a professional within professional circles. He's an exception. But then there's a level. There's a level that is the baseline. Yeah, dog, I swear, if you even look at a man like McTominay, if you probably go and watch him train, you will see a level of professionalism. You will see a level of professionalism that Trinidadian fellas would have never know about.
Exactly.
And this is what I'm saying. That's
supposed to be intrinsic. When Trinidad go call he a shitong. He a wild man.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying.
He's a laborer.
And this is what I'm saying.
He's a laborer.
Intrinsically, you are decide to do that.
Blue collar worker.
Blue collar worker.
Yeah, he's a laborer. You might see that, but at the end of the day, the man have a role in that team and he playing it, and he's showing that he's willing to work it, right? And this is what I'm saying. That is where the intrinsic motivation had to come from. A man had decided, here what? I don't work behind the source. I have to.
I disagree. It's not intrinsic.
Everything you say there it sounds correct, and in reality, in reality, In a perfect world, it is correct. In a perfect world, it is correct.
Mm-hmm.
But what I am saying to you, brother, is these attitudes have to be cultivated, have to be created and cultivated over a long period of time.
And
You
the men that are unwilling to do it, they get weed out. That's it. They're not
that's,
even gonna,
that's
they're not even
simple.
gonna make it past. They're not even gonna make it past under 70.
That's simple.
And
And let
that's
me
it.
tell you something, it wouldn't have no situation like what happened yesterday. When you have a sustainable league running from 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-old, you already, a national coach, already have a pool of players who you can choose from.
Yep.
Year after year, you see this guy develop. This guy was here. This guy was a 5 player as a 14-year-old player. He jumped from 5 to an 8 player from in 2 years. And then to have guys who bloom it late. But it's a sustainable. You have to put these kids in a sustainable, trained practicum. Practicum. And once you do that, you're going to create community in Trinidad, because parents going to get involved with the kids, dropping the kids, going to see the kids play across. You're going to create community. You're going to create a certain level of discipline. You're going to create a certain level of competitive drive. And finally, what you're going to create is a professional attitude that doesn't have to be injected. It's not a quick fix. It's something that has been sustained over a period of time. You're sticking nobody with a needle in the arm when they're 21 years old.
It'll be there
14.
It will be there regardless of who the coach is and thing. You will see the players still have a certain level and thing like that. And I mean, you see that across any profession. Across any profession, you could basically tell immediate, like, you could even see it. And so say you use a man wedding photography, videography, and thing like that. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. There's a level you see immediately when somebody's a professional on something. And it's, and it's not just ethic. It's almost like it's practice. You've been doing this thing for certain ways, so there's a certain way you do it. This is the way you do it. This is the way you do it. Yeah. And it's something that, So it's interesting way you say, Marcus. So basically, would you say is as simple as that? That's what was done with the US. So I see a lot of people now starting to credit Jurgen Klinsmann from when he was coach. Some of the things he was pushing the US to do on the younger age.
Yeah. Right.
So would you credit? Is that? I mean, in simplest. I mean, I'm oversimplifying, but literally, is that all it is?
It's not. Well, you have to find the right people to oversee it. You know, you could come up with the game plan, and you could have a fantastic game plan. You could have a fantastic ecosystem. But then if you put a butcher in charge, come on, bro. You know? If you put a butcher in charge, it makes no sense. So you have to find the right people. Again, the familiarity. Some of these old heads who have been in charge of Trinidad football for the last 20, 30, 40, they gotta go. Bye-bye. Go sit down in the rocking chair. Okay? Get your Twitter finger on. I see you look like Twitter finger in a way. Look, anyway.
All right. I good. You give me my lacquer pretty nice.
Let me tell you a story. Kid Lookloy used to coach a team called Foot Golf back in the day. I wonder if you know about a team called Foot Golf. Go look it up. Supposed to be an academy. Okay, I scored a hat trick on them in PSC. I remember that clear and well. It have a lot of people in Trinidad. They could talk real good.
Yeah.
They could talk real good. But when it come down to it, show me your CV. Show me your accomplishments. Yeah. You know who Trinidad need to bring back in the game? A guy like Lincoln Phillips. Go find Lincoln Phillips. Go find Lincoln Phillips. Bring him down. Let him. Give him reign. Along with somebody like Andy Salandi, who's a doer. Who gets stuff done. That's the kind of people you need in charge. Or something like this. Then you find young, good Trinidad coaches. Young, good Trinidad coaches. Put them through the courses. Put them through the courses. More importantly, make sure they can translate the theory into a life affirming scenario. Because they can know all the theory, like we just say, if you're not a leader of men, Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse. You know? And it have plenty Trinidad men up here, trust me.
I know that. The real men outside. Real men outside. And we can't see we will.
So,
we had the resources. We had the people.
Right.
So Marcus, we want to thank you for joining us, bro. We know you could talk whole night.
Yeah,
it's a convo, really educational.
Yes.
Nice. So Marcus,
Yeah,
before we go, you have anything you want to plug? Yeah, anything you want to?
Twitter finger, anything?
Any closing words?
Yeah, we plug in tie-dye. Plug in tie-dye.
Yeah. Think it, do it.
We appreciate you taking the time to come and chat with us, bro.
It was wonderful.
It was a beautiful thing, man. It was beautiful talking to the brothers. It was really
cool.
Informational and fun. I appreciate it.
It was a good time.
Man, we had to do it again, man. We had to do it again.
I tell you, we had to do that whole group garden.
I ain't say all that's valid, but we had to do it again.
That's where the rabbits.
The brothers, I appreciate all you know. Thanks much for the time.
I appreciate Marcus. I really appreciate it. It was wonderful. I really do.
I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this edit day, will say.
Yeah, go and do something. Sure.
Marcus, bro, all the best, bro. Nice to meet you again.
We'll see. Nice to meet you, brother. Swadi and Andre.
Yeah, man, Marcus. Thanks, sir. Blessings in your life, man.
Very good talk. Appreciate it.
All right, brothers. Later.
All the best.